Tonight is a great honor to be with you to celebrate National Survivors Day. Who are we? We are wives, husbands, brothers, sisters, children, friends, caregivers, health providers, and survivors. Regardless of our role, we are all impacted by the news of a cancer diagnosis. We all have amazing stories to tell, and we all have defining moments. But my family's defining moment occurred when my husband David was diagnosed in May 2000 with small cell lung cancer. It accounts for about 20% of all lung cancers, and his was in a limited stage in one lung, but with several tumors around his aorta, making it impossible to operate. Not great. The news was shocking to many, and who would think a man as young as 47 years old would be diagnosed with such a terrifying illness. And yes, David was a smoker, and of course this was a typical first question most everyone asked, since one assumes that if you have lung cancer, you must have smoked. But no, he didn't stop smoking earlier, knowing there was a history of lung cancer in his family. And yes, the occasional nagging wife that I can be asked him to stop smoking numerous times, or as he puts it, millions of times, for health reasons or because of our kids. I'm sure we have all asked ourselves what if type of questions to help us understand why this is happening to us, or why in a split second did our lives have to change so dramatically by this devastating diagnosis. It may help initially, but honestly, it's not worth the energy, because in the long run, as we have found, it does little to help you or your loved ones. So let me take you back to the beginning of our journey. And it started when we moved from New York City to Syosset, Long Island, with our two children, Samantha, who was then in 5th grade, and my son, Zachary, who was in 1st grade. It was toward the end of the school year, and David was coaching Zach's Little League baseball team and getting ready for the playoffs when he felt fluish and just didn't feel great. So finally, after coaxing David to visit a new doctor locally, he was given his initial diagnosis. There is nothing that prepares you or your family sufficiently for this type of news, as you all know. It's all about following your instincts and following your heart. The first steps were the most challenging. I was on a major fact-finding mission to understand David's diagnosis and what it meant to us. Networking to find the right healthcare providers, and how should David and I as parents prepare our children for what's to come. My role was clear: keep the family together and relieve David of any concerns, but to focus on his health. Once we met with Dr. Mark Criss and his amazing team at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, we felt totally relieved, supported, and comfortable knowing there was a plan in place with the best medical care possible. We were now ready to move ahead. Now, as parents with two young children who were very bright and very inquisitive, David and I were faced with what approach to take with them. How much do we tell them? I can remember when I was a child, if someone had cancer, no one talked about the big C word. It was taboo. So we definitely wanted to be as honest as possible and tell the kids what was happening to their dad and address all their questions and hopefully remove any of their fears. We communicated with their school principals and guidance counselors and friends, so everyone was in the loop. It was important not to hold back information and keep secrets. This definitely was the right thing to do, especially as David's treatments progressed. As my daughter reminded me, I was the cheerleader, always positive, providing unconditional love and encouragement, proactive in making things happen, and always upbeat. We were not going to feel like victims of a terrible circumstance or seek out others for sympathy. It was all about keeping things light and simple. That worked for us. We even gave David a nickname, DD, Drama Dave, when he was looking for sympathy or a reaction. It has not always been as simple as I have described. Through this, we have had to make serious lifestyle changes. I left my corporate retail position and started my own fashion accessories business to allow more time to focus on my family and provide flexibility to support David's ongoing and hectic treatment schedule. He ceased to work, and in the long term, my business unfortunately did not work out, but it was the right thing to do, and it was the right time to do it. Health insurance was a fortune, but a must-have. The expense of college loomed over us. This certainly created our share of financial difficulties, even to this day. That only adds to additional stress. But regardless of all these decisions we made, we are a family and we have each other. We never look back, we only look forward. I'm sure we have also found people all of us have found people in our lives, whether they were family members or friends, who we could depend on and those who we could not, who wanted to help in some small way by surprising you with a dinner after a long day of treatment, or who disappointed you by not making even a simple gesture to help you so you could have a little time for yourself. But this is really all about David. He has been an inspiration to all of us and everyone he touches with his fierce determination, positive approach, and wild sense of humor. And for David, it never was about getting through one day at a time, but always has been about planning for the next major milestone, whether it was the next birthday, anniversary, bar, bat mitzvah, graduation, and who knows, maybe weddings and grandchildren are up ahead. But coaching and supporting recently diagnosed patients has always given David a newfound voice and given one he could make a difference by helping others overcome their initial fears and questions. He also visited Zach's high school earlier this year and proved that there was a need for further information and education about lung cancer and its effects. This proved to be invaluable, and which the school district wants to extend and expand and elaborate. But through all this, the shining light remains our remarkable children. Samantha is now 18 and has just finished her freshman year at Syracuse University, and Zachary is 15, soon to drive. Ooh, ouch. They are happy, confident, and prepared to deal with whatever comes their way. They are wiser and probably more mature because of what they experienced with their dad. They have been involved with cause-related functions for lung cancer, whether it was participating annually in Strides for Life in Southampton, or involved with a local organization who had Governor Pataki sign a proclamation to make November Lung Cancer Awareness Month in New York State. What a great example and life lessons these are. You can't teach that in a classroom. They have both written about their feelings and experiences in school papers, and in Samantha's college application essay, she focused on David's illness, which helped her mold her into the person she is today. She wrote, "Since my dad finished his treatment, I have tried to take a very challenging period in my life and turn it around to make a difference. Over the years, I turned all those negative things that happened to me and my family into motivators, never forgetting and never getting too comfortable. Fortunately for me, my parents have been a guiding light, there to encourage me to never quit and to always do my ultimate best. And as a parent, who could ask for anything more? We are all here to make a bigger contribution in life, and I can't wait to see what's ahead for Sam and Zach. But I am thrilled to be joined this evening by my husband, David, who has defied all the odds 8 years later, and by our two children, Samantha and Zachary, along with my amazing sister, Nancy. We are a team, and this journey would not have been possible without their combined love and support. So today, life is normal, whatever normal is, and it is a very sweet word to say, considering everything we have all been through. Except for some of the typical aches and pains of a 50-something-year-old, David is reaching those milestones. In fact, our love story continues when we celebrate our 20th anniversary this November. David is our gift, and to all the survivors here tonight, you are a gift. So stay healthy, be happy, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share our story with you.